Hello.
Does it work? Does it work? Yes.
Is working? Yeah.
First 2 minutes will be the organizers.
Yeah. Perfect.
Hello.
Just 2 minutes. Okay, good. Oh, it's work.
It's not a Bohemian Crystal.
It's not a point. So 2 minutes. Yes.
So you need something metallic.
Yes, but it will be okay. Okay. Could you please sit down? Mr. Matas, sit down.
There is just a second. The organizers have to see.
No, there he will. Okay, we'll begin our sessions now. And just a few words. Thanks a lot to all representatives of Czech Republic, so university, etc., for this first part and this welcoming part. I think that we really enjoy it. Well, we think that, like in any symposium, you have to go very quietly to the main subjects. So the first part is the official one.
Still the organizers first.
Twice he remind me that I have to give the floor to organizer. So if I forget about it, anybody there said, please give the floor to the organizer.
Thank
so,
you.
Not
Thank
yet.
you. Not yet.
Not yet. No, what I wanted to say that then this first part then, end of the morning, will be a few words about ITU and about what is our role and what we bring roughly. Hopefully we are bringing you something regarding all of the small sat, and so it will be about this part. And from this afternoon on, you will have the real people talking about it. All said, but I think that we found that it's quite clear that very often during a symposium, most of the people are there on the first day, on the first morning. So we said, okay, as a co-organizer, we'll take this room also, because people will be forced to listen to us. But then I would say the most interesting that will be said during this symposium will be this afternoon and tomorrow. So please be there also. Before going on, I promise to you, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just some technical informations. Maybe you noticed that the coffee is one floor above us and restrooms as well. I'm very sorry to ladies, there is not enough ladies restrooms, but its fact is that at the university there is not many female students, and the amount of restrooms is proportional to this. but you have a science to find it. It's not so complicated. Please be aware that there is a running semester at the university. Students are walking around and so on. In the building, there is a strict non-smoking policy. If you want to smoke during the breaks, you have to leave the building. You can use on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. And the entry out of the building, there are ashtrays which are at your disposal. And when the session finished, we have a social program for you, and the buses are leaving at 19:15 from this place. Sharply. It means that who is late is late. The program is we are going to the brewery, and you will see the beer production, which is one of the most famous products of the Czech Republic. I'm sure there will be some testing and some refreshment as well. So enjoy the rest of the evening, and I give the word back to Ivan to start the official part. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for all of those informations. I'm just wondering, I would like it 6 o'clock now. I don't know why, but okay. We have to spend the day together. As I mentioned, this morning and this first part will be a few information about the ITU. First information will be provided by Joaquin, and in fact, Joaquin, with his head of the Outreach and Publication Service Division at the BR. And what Joaquin will talk about will be, in fact, to make a little introduction to I2R for those which are not really familiar with us, and also about some issues that we have talked also this morning was the academia's activities. Please, Joaquin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Juan. Thanks to everybody for attending this evening. We are more than glad with the quantity and quality of participants. We like to present the basic concepts about our organization to help you to better understand our role in this aspect of mini satellites. First, this is the agenda to rapidly review the ITU organization, to go then to our sector radio communication and their study groups. That would be a lot of interest for academia participants, and the Radio Communication Bureau to clarify the difference between the radio communication sector and the Radio Communication Bureau, but many times used to be confused. And then the key point of I2 and academia. First, the International Telecommunication Union was founded in Paris, 17 May 1865. That's why this is the Universal Day for Telecommunication, 17 May. And his name was changed from International Telegraph Union to International Telecommunication Union in 1932. We joined United Nations system in 47, and our goal is coordinate the shared global use of the radio spectrum and satellite orbits, work to improve telecommunication infrastructure in the developing world, and assist in the development and coordination of worldwide technical standards. This year we are celebrating our 150th anniversary, so if you visit our website, you will find a lot of events related to this special year for us. We are composed by 193 member states. We have also in our union the participation of other stakeholders. Basically, we have near 600 sector members and 660 academia, and so far 84 academia members. We are organized basically in 3 sectors. The sector ITUT, telecommunication standardization, related to network and service aspect, and the secretariat is the Bureau's TSB. We have the development sector, sector ITUD, assisting implementation and operation of telecommunication in developing countries, and its bureau is the BDT, and our sector of main interest here is the sector I2R, radio communication, standardization and global spectrum management, and the secretariat is the Bureau of Radio Communication. ITU is ruled by basic legal instruments that are international treaties, binding for all signatory states. The basic instruments are the Constitution and of the international the ITU, the Convention, and 2 kinds of administrative regulation. One that maybe is not well known is the International Telecommunication Regulation, and the most known and most interesting here is the radio regulation. Precisely, Yvonne is going to explain in detail the role of the radio regulation in these matters, and it includes the rule of procedures. The most important organ of the organization is the Plenipotentiary Conference, is the supreme organ of the Union, and is the decision-making body who determines the direction of the Union. It gathers every 4 years. Last meeting was in October 2014 at Busan, Korea, and the next one will be in 2018 in United Emirates Arabs. The main function of the Plenipot is review the ATU basic concepts, constitution and convention, review the strategic plan and budget, and proceed to the election of the official of the organization, basically General Secretary, Deputy Secretary, and directors of the 3 bureaus. Also elect the radio regulation boards and the ITU Council. The ITU Council is the union governing body in the interval of 2 plenipotentiary conferences. It's conformed by maximum 25% of the state members. This means that this very moment is composed by 48 members that they are elected during the plenipotentiary conference. It meets yearly. Next meeting will be 12 to 22 May, and its role is to consider broad telecommunication policies and in general any decision that will be necessary to take plenipot conferences. Now, going to our specific sector. The main function of the radio communication sector is maybe the most important, most relevant, is the celebration of the World and Regional Radio Communication Conference to revise the radio regulations and regional agreements. Perform the studies by the study group of the I2R in the framework established by the assemblies, coordinate the effort to eliminate harmful interference between radio stations of different countries, updating the master international frequency register, something that our colleague Yvonne will refer also later on, and establishment on information and dissemination mechanisms, including seminar and workshop like this one. So this is part of the function 5 for us. This is the structure of the I2R. On the above part, in yellow, you have the part related to membership, and in the lower part is the Secretariat, the Radio Communication Bureau. We belong to the Radio Communication Bureau. So the most important space organ for us is precisely the World Radio Communication Conference, because it's the solely space where the radio regulation could be revised. Then we had the World or Regional Radio Communications Seminars. We had the Radio Regulatory Board. This is something like an international core for the application of the radio regulations. We had the Radio Communication Advisory Group. And on the other hand, we had the Radio Communication Assembly that is related basically with the activities of the study group. And then we had the organization of the Bureau who provide the secretariat service to the sector, composed by the Space Department, Terrestrial Department, the Study Group Department, and Information and Administrative Department. The World Radio Conference performs a complete and detailed revision of the radio regulation and its rule of procedure and makes the necessary updating of that. Is the only space authorized to review and modify the radio regulation. That is why it's so important, the World Radio Conference. It could consider any radio communication matter of worldwide character, develop instructions to the Radio Regulation Board, determine the issues to be considered by the assemblies and the study group, and set the draft agenda for the next radio conference. That's an important point. At every radio conference, the subject to be discussed can be done at the last minute. The agenda of the conference normally is approved on the previous conference. So the agenda of the conference that we will have this year was previously approved in the conference 2012, and at once in the next conference, we must approve the agenda of the next conference 2019. Why? Because the subject used to be so complicated, so complex that they need some kind of study related to interference and how to share a spectrum, and this kind of study needs a lot of time. Then we need to announce in advance to the sector what will be topic to be discussed 4 years later, so they could have enough time to prepare these studies and support the different positions during the conference. As we say, it's every 4 years. Last conference was in February 2012. The next conference will be this year,